Hello, my Libra collective. I am here today to give you your message for March 2025. Before I start, I'm just letting everybody know astrological and planetary placements that will be affecting all signs. A portal that potentially can be something that can move you into a better start and taking more control over your life, and also announcement of the Mercury retrograde. So starting off on March 14th, we will have a full moon in the sign of Virgo. But not only that, the full moon in the sign of Virgo will also come with a lunar eclipse in the sign of Virgo that will be complemented as also the moon starts entering the sign of Libra. So what this is a revelation of the things that have been occult or hidden to you, that have been obstacles for your career, for your material well-being, and for your physical well-being. And what you're being called to do at this time is that now that you are being revealed, the fact that this has been the obstacle and this is the thing that you need to do to move forward. Libra is asking you to now take this chaotic energy and now flip it and balance it out in a way that can be for your benefit instead of your detriment. Okay. Now, besides that, we have a new moon in the sign of Aries. And just keep in mind that where your Aries is placing in your astrological chart, in your birth chart, in your planetary chart, will impact you strongly. So see what house is located in, see what other signs are in that house besides Aries, and then you will have a little better idea how that's going to be affecting you. Now, the new moon in the sign of Aries is not the only thing. There's also a solar eclipse that day aligned with Libra. So you are strongly affected, Libra, because you are both influencing this energy of Virgo, which is talking about your material world, and this energy of Aries, which is telling you be the leader that you're supposed to be, take control of your life, don't let somebody step all over you. So Libra is being called to literally step into the plate. If you're low in cash, why are you low in cash? What have been limiting you? What can you do in that time instead of wasting it in things that have been consuming your time that no longer have any worth or value to you, that you can do it as a side hustle to make some extra cash? This is kind of like what I'm seeing. I think like many of us, we've gotten so accustomed like just to the 20 to 40 hour work week. I'm just saying 20 because there's some people that work less than the 40 hour. And then we do a lot of like, I guess, wasting of time. And instead of taking on new hobbies or trying something new that can help us expand, grow, and become whole, we kind of just waste it on scrolling through social media and buying stuff that we don't need and gambling and doing stuff that is just not necessary. So this eclipse that's going to line up for the Aries and Libra is actually going to be affecting all the planetary placements for 6 months. Okay. And in this 6 months period of time, the masculine energy is being put on check. I want to say the leadership energy is being put on check because they're telling you you will only be a good enough leader, or you will only be able to be the sovereign of your reality if you are able to work well with others, if you're able to balance out the authority that you have and distribute it in a way where it is one for all and all for one energy. And now this is in the micro, so this can be internal, where you're giving space to your internal masculine and feminine energy and your inner child, and each one is getting a good amount of attention. It can be something in a broader aspect, so in your household where there's like a need for the masculine and the feminine to both help each other and work as a team and a union. It can be something that has to be in your community, in the government, in the world, in the environment. So we're going to see this playing out in many different ways. And like I said, the energy is going to be affecting us for 6 months. Then the final thing that is the reason why I'm telling you it's a portal, besides there's an eclipse and an eclipse, there is exactly at the same time is where Mercury retrograde starts. Mercury retrograde has a way of bringing back situations, issues, and blocks that have hindered us in the past. We will see them in problems with communications and things like that. But really, the Mercury retrograde has a lot to do with your Chiron placement and the shadow that comes from that Chiron that you have to overcome to move forward in. Now, because this this is what's so interesting about it. So the new moon, which ends this full moon new moon energy, is in the sign of Aries. This whole thing is kind of taking place in the period of Aries, and the Mercury retrograde starts on the 14th on the sign of Aries, and it shall continue in the sign of Aries till the 29th, when then it shifts to the sign of Pisces until April 6th. Sorry, all of a sudden I couldn't talk. So what I'm saying is, this is calling you to action, is asking you, are you going to allow yourself to be a product of circumstances outside of your control? Are you going to continue to render your power to habits, to addictions, to people, places, things, governments, right? Or are you going to be an active steward to your reality? There are many people that just sit around and kind of gotten used to, I guess, complaining about how their lives are not the best way, and they're not exactly where they want to be, but also never really taking action in what they want. And I can tell you myself personally, I can totally fit in that qualification, right? I need more money, but I don't really want to work more, I need to have more time to I need to be more physically fit, but I don't want to really work out, So all of us have that thing, but right now you're going to be called into attention. If it is an actual person that has been oppressing you or limiting you, you will see that person oppressing you a little stronger during this period of time, because they're trying to, I want to say, bait you to see if you're going to stand up and say no, or if you are going to lay down and say yes, right? And so just keep in mind that that planetary placement, besides everything else that we're talking about today, has a strong influence in how the month of March is going to be affecting you, my Libras, okay? But you have a really strong role in March, both in the full moon and the eclipse, and the new moon and the eclipse, okay? So let's talk about the first thing that we're going to talk about is week number 1. I'm going to pull 3 cards out and oracle card to get more information. Wow. All right, the first thing I see is the 10 of Wands. The 10 of Wands is talking about laying down some burdens. Okay, there has been something that you've been struggling with or working with for a whole entire few months, January, February, whatever. And all of a sudden, you release that burden starting the first week of March. You decide it is time for you to let it go. Okay, sometimes we acquire burdens that are not ours to carry, or sometimes there is no problem, but because we have traumas that we carried from other relationships, other situations, other experiences, then we create a burden that really doesn't exist. And so this is putting it down and not investing, because we have the 7 of Pentacles in reverse, not investing anymore in that thought, in that process, in that limitation. And then we have the 2 of Cups. So it's strongly letting go of some kind of partnership, agreement, addiction, habit, thing that ended up becoming more of a burden than a help, and something that you invested way too much time on that is no longer helping. I'll give an example so that you can understand. It can be something as easy as I took on a commitment of going twice a week to work in my local shelter. And it is becoming a lot of work because I have to find daycare, I have to find this and that. All of a sudden, people have been sick. It's been so much of a burden, blah, blah, blah. And in helping them, I'm taking away time and energy from the people in my home, the responsibilities of homes and whatever. And I come to the understanding that I can help more my community by making sure that my family and my network are well, and probably investing some resources like sending food or donating food, or donating resources, or donating something on that side, instead of actually physically being over there, because it's just too much. And so I decide to break that commitment because it's no longer, I I want to say feasible for the job and for my lifestyle. This can also be like I'm addicted to spending, I don't know, 5, 6 hours a day scrolling on social media, and it's become like a commitment. I'm on there every single day. I follow certain people certain times. It's important I go on there. I need to know what's happening, blah blah blah, whole mess of stuff. And it's actually becoming burdensome because you're not taking on the time to do other things that would be good for you. So now it's dropping that to allow a space for something else. Okay, each one of you has different realities and different lives and different things that you're kind of dealing with. So you have to take it as it resonates. So let's see. With it, we have the garlic. Now, mind you, garlic is a very, very good herb that repels negative energy. And here it says, it is unwise to walk beyond the boundaries you have yet to expand on. Protection among all else. So it is talking, that is interesting because I said it's a very strong protection herb. What it's talking about is the fact that there are desires that we have for things, yet we're not willing to put in the energy required to create the stability to be able to make it happen. Going back to the explanation of working in the soup kitchen twice a week for your local community. There is a desire to help, but the structure of your home and the requirements that you have at home are not well established, and things are not placed in a way that it's actually practical for you to do it. Even though your heart's in the right place, you're doing more disservice for your home than you are for the good that you're doing for the community. It's kind of like you're hurting one thing to help another. In other words, you hurt both. And so, or on the same token, you decide, I want to start a YouTube channel, but I've now spent 50 million hours watching YouTube videos, and I really don't have time to sit there and actually make these videos because I spend too much time looking at them, right? Then it's like you need to first establish a boundary and a protection of your personal space, of your personal energy, so that you can start in that new venture, learning what you need to learn to expand forward. So, it's kind of talking about tending to your home first prior to tending to something outside of yourself. And this is also filling your cup internally, spiritually first before you try to help another. And that is not selfish. That is very wise. All right. So the first week is kind of that, is you're releasing a burden that you've invested a long time on that no longer serves you. Second week. Whoa. First thing right off the jump is the death card. This is you releasing the burden. So first you're thinking about it, you're seeing it as a burden, and the second week you're releasing it. Really releasing it, because we have the King of Swords right after it. And let's see. Ooh, and 2 cards flew out instead of 1 together. They're stuck together. We have the Judgment card and the Page of Cups. All right. What I can tell you right here is that week number 1 feels like I am finally realizing the burden that I've been carrying, how much this situation is creating a strain in my relationship and my home and whatever, and how much I need to tune in to my immediate surroundings or my immediate self, right? Because this can be not your house, but this can be your physical body, where you're taking care of everybody in your home, everything in your home and whatever, but you haven't taken care of your physical health, of your strength, of your vitality, your spiritual well-being. And so then second week, you're letting this go, and you're literally cutting your emotion out of this. Is you're being very practical and logical about it. You're seeing how things make sense, how they don't make sense, and by the book kind of just cutting things out. And it's a judgment call that will bring an extra surprise, because the Page of Cups is saying something unexpected will happen in result of you choosing to release this burden. Okay? Now, let's see what else I get over here. Ooh, there it goes. We have the energy of Snowdrop. It says, with all seems to stem from the unknown, hold firm in knowing that all will be as it should be. Here's that. And so something unexpected that is coming, it feels like it feels like this energy where you start realizing that that wasn't the only thing in your home, in your energy, in your surroundings that was causing a problem. That you're finally awakening to things in your surroundings that you have to attend to. This is true for all of us. Like when I stopped working and away from my house, and I started working more at home, and it was around 2020, right? I just figured out that out. I'm like, holy shit, it's almost been 5 years. Um, so when I did that, like I knew that there was things I was falling through the wayside. I knew that there was a requirement for more attention for my kids. There was a need to heal situations for my relationship. There was a need to heal things like in my environment, like at home, and balancing out the energy and stuff. So when I started doing that and I came back here, I realized how much my kids needed more of me. I realized how much I needed more time with my husband. And actually, during this 4 year period of time, our bond became very much stronger because I guess I was more awake and attuned to be able to see what he needed from me and what I need. And I was more open to tell him what I needed of him. And our communication avenues became larger, more expansive, a little bit more comfortable to work with each other. And I know it's funny because we've been together for 20 something years. And, but there is always a need to continue to grow and evolve a relationship. The same with my kids. It's like now we're more open, and some people might think we're a little bit too open because sometimes we're like we tell it as it is to each other, because just how I am with you guys, me and my kids are the same way with each other. I'm teaching them to be very I guess open and comfortable with how they feel and what they want to express themselves and to question, right? And so all these experiences are kind of one of those things where I started addressing what was important to me. Now, I know that this is something that was available to me, and that's not going to be available for everybody. But it doesn't mean that you have to drop your jobs, go home, take care of everybody. But it does mean that there are some things that occupy more of your time that you can do better suited on something that will be more rewarding for you. Okay. And it's like a awakening, because the judgment card for me is like you've been asleep and now you are coming to life. And that's a surprise because you didn't realize how disconnected you were from your reality, and how much a little extra time with that person, a little extra time with that child, a little extra time in your home and your environment, instead of tuning out in social media or in gaming or in stupid shit like trying to help the community, we we're kind of losing what's important, which is the foundation, right? And so that's why the protection is also there, because you have to first start with a strong protected foundation prior to like expanding to help others, right? Third week. And that's the whole point of this Aries energy, because it's like being the leader of your home, learning how to be an effective leader. And for a lot of us, we didn't have that as an example. A lot of us came from homes that were broken, that our parents had drug abuse problems or alcohol abuse problems, a lot of like dysfunctional families, and like that's the thing that a lot of us have experienced. And so it's hard for me to be an active leader if I've never really had an example for it. And so it's kind of trial and error and seeing what's right and what's wrong and moving forward. And that's what this is calling you to do. It's calling you to, if you truly want, I just heard, if you make it, they will come. If you truly want that I want to say Hallmark family experience, time must be invested in that family, right? Or in that self. And the next thing we have is the Strength card. And that follows by the Chariot card. Holy crap. If I get another major arcana, holy crap. Oh, I did. And the Sun card. Oh my God. Week number 3. Week number 3 is going to be super, super, super expansive for you guys on the sign of Libra. It's going to be a very, like, I want to say pivotal moment, because we have the Strength card. So that is the strength of will. And that is having to, finally getting to the point where you're fighting, I want to say, with your own internal demons that want to fall back into the patterns of your parents, the patterns of your life, the old habits that have not served you up to now, and moving you forward into the light, into happiness, into the joy that you know that you're supposed to have in your life. This is like, I mean, this is why I feel, oh, look, I never noticed that. One of the cards had flipped over, probably with that other one. It's the card of altar. Allow the magic of who you are to be seen by the eyes you keep. You are enough, my dear. Take ease in receiving. So I'm going to put that in the second week. It seems like second week, the surprise that is going to be, like, I want to say gifted to you, is this energy of first not realizing how much you were needed, like your presence, your tuned in perceptions, your just vibration, when it's actually connected to who you really are, to your spiritual team, to like your real essence, how much it was needed in your environment. Okay, in your internal environment, in your home environment, in your community, in your world. Okay, and in the third week, that awakening, that dare to break away from that thing that has been consuming too much time, energy, effort, that has not been giving you any benefit from it, all of a sudden an awakening happens where you're going to overcome, like I want to say, like a carnal sin, right? Or an internal demon that has been making you have a life less than what you are supposed to have. And then you continue with this energy of the cherry. All right, so then sorry, I need to pause there for a minute. I had family coming through. We have the Milk Moon Witch. Watch as the titles turn in your favor, weaving the waters within and conjuring unspoken desires. This is the first one I've gotten, this card. Can we talk about how awesome that freaking is? Okay, I told you, it's like this energy that's going on here where you're finally deciding to tune in. And when you do, all of a sudden, you overcome a hurdle that has been interfering in your life, in your happiness, in your joy, in your family. And you start moving forward and you start bringing joy and you start feeling bliss. And that's what this feels like. It's like you're weaving a different fate for yourself. I tell this to people a lot. Like, sometimes because we have traumas or wounds or worries or distractions or whatever the hell we have, right? We have a tendency of following people on social media and whatever that validate the wounds that we're carrying. You're the victim. Everybody's against you. Everything is bad. You have no, you poor baby, you poor baby, you. I'm just going to give you a hug because you're so freaking special, right? And sometimes that's not what we need. We need a good swift kick in the ass and saying to ourselves, wake the hell up. You've been laying around crying about a terrible life that you've had, which has never been as terrible as other people. So let's not worry about that and just let's pick yourself up from the bootstraps and keep moving forward. And this energy feels like, wait a second. The fact that my life, I don't have that extra money that I want. I don't have that connection with my family members. My home isn't as my spiritual practice isn't as strong as I want. It's because I probably spend way too long on shit that doesn't matter, and it's creating a hiccup in my family dynamic. So now it's time for me to tune in to what's important. And when I do, oh my God, the shift it makes. Week number 3 is freaking amazing. It's like an aha amazing moment. And remember how I told you the 29th of with that eclipse of the solar eclipse in Aries and in Libra, it's a 6-month cycle of this. So there's a strong potential of you literally living 6 months of mother flipping bliss because you decide to tune in and turn off the social media, turn off the games, turn off the extra spending on shit that you don't need, turn off the loafing around in the sofa instead of getting up and exercising, or turn off the TV and take 5 or 10 minutes or an hour to talk to your spiritual team and connect. That's That's amazing. That's all I'm going to say. Week number 4. Shut up. You get more major arcana. There's a big shift happening because like the first week, not so much, but second week starts 2 major arcana. Third week, 3 major arcana, and fourth week has another major arcana. There is 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana here. That's crazy. You ascend. 3 of Wands. Ascending means that you're overcoming a situation that has limited you. You're moving on up. Now I'm hearing, I'm moving on up to the east side. And then we have the Star card, which is receiving a desire, Page of Wands, because you're kind of making some noise, right? I want to say some spiritual, some internal, some physical noise. You're awakening, you're taking action, and it's new because it's a page energy. So it's not like a king or a prince or whatever. It's new energy. You're trying different stuff, and it's literally creating a ruckus in your energy, bringing you closer to that desire that you've been wanting and ascending you, removing you away from obstacles, overcoming hurdles that you had in the past. Wow, yours is like very good, Libra. That's almost like. Then we have self-ceremony. This is awesome. Self-ceremony, for me, this card depicts a lot your solar plexus and your sacral space and the activation of your divine masculine and feminine energy, an awakening it, a yin-yang, balance energy, and activation. Self-ceremony creates the vision you desire. Take action in plans that lead to fulfillment. You see, I love it when these cards talk to each other. And what this feels like is that energy where you're now listening to the people in your home, listening to your body, listening to your spirit, listening to yourself, listening to the environment around you. You're listening. And because you are, you're understanding when to catch that wave, when to move, when to stop, when to evolve in your reality. This is fucking amazing. That's all I'm going to say. So now let me use these cards. No, they told me not these. Hold on. The moon cards. They told me the moon cards. Hold on. I'm going to use the moon cards here to tell you how these planetary placements are going to affect you. The first thing is the full moon in Virgo. There it goes. Protection. That is the second time I see protection. Like you got protection twice. And mind you, I want you to see the placements of this woman's hands. And look at the placements of this one. Same. It's talking about protecting your sacral space and your solar plexus. Your solar plexus is protecting your energy, your power, your source of movement, and protecting your source of creation. And so there is an awakening to a need to protect your world, right? The world that you're creating. This is your home, yourself, the people that are very close to you, your fur babies. And it's a need to create a safe haven so it can flourish and grow and expand. The new moon in Aries. The new moon in Aries brings lighten your load. And I see that here, like third going into fourth week, is this energy where I just removed a huge burden on my back because I'm finally tuning in and I'm listening to my intuition and I'm listening to my body and whatever. And all of a sudden things, even though we have the same situation going on, things don't feel as heavy anymore. Things feel like I can do this. Okay. Then we have Mercury retrograde. I told people like in my astrology of the weeks that I feel like this Mercury retrograde is going to be actually good. Then look, Mercury retrograde is coming with a blessing of healing. That's what it feels like to me. I feel like you're being blessed with a healing, but I don't feel like it's a healing just of you, but it's a healing of your home, a healing of your temple of your body, a healing of the family that you have created or that you are thinking about creating. It's a healing of your environment because you're tuning in. Sometimes, like, I love like social media. I love like computers. I love all that stuff. I don't do too many services online. And the reason I don't do a lot of services online is because I have a personal problem with the fact that people have an aversion of connecting to each other. You know, we can in social media discuss many things, but we can't actively, like, I want to say, really create an impression on each other's auras if we do not connect with each other. Humans were made to connect and create these quantum entanglements that create a grid on planet Earth that heals her, that strengthens her. But we've lost that. Instead, we have this false matrix called the web, you know, and that's a problem when people are prefer to tune into a screen so that I don't have to physically energetically feel you, so that I don't have to give you any of my energy. And I just, it just feels like, I don't know, kind of selfish. And that's kind of the reason why the world seems to be divisive and separating like that. Everybody is becoming selfish, and it's because the web that kept us together through our souls is being displaced because of AI, because of websites, and because of, like, I don't know, the need not to connect anymore. And that is, I feel like that is what I'm trying to show you, the fact that the investment in things that are false are taking away from the things that are real. And when you start tuning into what is real, you start realizing the necessity that we have to tune in more. I hope this helps you. We'll see you the next time.